Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Breaking Uneven podcast. We love to talk shop, uncover the beauty of failures, and play a few games. Today, we're hosting Sanjanaa Aswani, the founder of Ride. Sanjana's journey started at Northeastern University, where she did a bachelor's degree in economics, after which she went on to Maggie London as a customer experience specialist, and then she started Ride, an indoor rhythm cycling studio that's tackling the fitness enthusiast demand in India today. Have we missed anything noteworthy from your journey so far?
I mean, you got it pretty much all covered, but it's not about what's happened, it's about what's going to happen in the future. So that's what we're here for. So let's get started on that.
Cool. So let's understand a little more about Ride. So Janvi's going to throw at you our first challenge.
So the first challenge is called the Twitter Pitch Challenge. Twitter is known for its 280 character limit on every tweet, which sometimes makes it a little difficult to convey your thoughts. It takes about 20 seconds to speak to 180 characters. So we transfer this challenge to you to explain to us Ride in 20 seconds, but we won't make it easy. You also need to use one emoji and one hashtag in your tweets. Any questions?
It wasn't easy to begin with, so I don't know why you guys had to make it more difficult. Because I mean, there's so much to say about Ride.
So let me know when you're ready and I can start the timer.
Cool, you can start. I'm just gonna.
3, 2, 1, go.
So Ride is a rhythm-based indoor cycling studio that focuses on holistic well-being and community. And it's a one-of-a-kind studio in Mumbai where we have a variety of different fitness classes, from spinning to yoga, Pilates, boxing, everything. But the core ethos of Ride is to enjoy movement and to have a feeling of togetherness and community while doing so. And it's not as much as to focus on just changing your body or hitting a certain number or a certain fitness goal. It's more for that mind and soul connection as well. So yeah, that's right.
Your
You would
hashtag and emoji.
The emoji would be okay. So I have two emojis that I always put like for everything right, which is one is a purple heart, and one is this guy who's wearing like a all purple suit, and he's on a bike. So those are the two emojis, and the hashtag would be hashtag right tribe. So that's what we call our community, right tribe. So that would be the hashtag.
I'm almost certain your pitch was more than 20 seconds.
Yeah, you never told me that it take 5 seconds to go. I would have sped it up.
Yeah, that one well above 20 seconds. But I think it was important to highlight all of those points. So we can now go deeper into what RIGHT stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's start from the beginning. So I think what I would love to understand is you've spent time as a customer experience specialist, right? If you had to take if you had to take one thing away from that or one skill away from that, what would it be?
I think patience, just because you're dealing with so it was a small company, so there was only one employee doing customer service, and that was me. So there was a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls, and a lot of angry customers. They didn't get their order in time or whatever. Their order came damaged, and you're like kind of taking the brunt of it all. Um, so yeah, a lot of patience. Also because there was a small company, like employees had to do a lot of odd jobs as well. We had to be like assistants at the photo shoots, things like that. So yeah, a lot of patience, and also just working. It was my first job experience in the US. I was like in the big city, New York, and living alone. So it's a lot of like just learning how to be independent, do things on, for myself. Um, and just things like that. So, that, and just communication skills, really. You have to kind of be cool, calm, collected, talking to people from like different cultures. And it was like all over it was like an international clothing brand. Um so that, and also, learn patience also, because you're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And how do you like keep yourself motivated to go and show up and do your best, and make it every single day. Yeah.
So if you could go back in time, right? Uh, because you were there for almost 7 months, which is a decently long time, right? So if you could go back in time, would you want to have that experience again?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I honestly wouldn't want to take anything back from my journey. I think it all um led to this. It all led to ride in a weird way. Um and yeah, I wouldn't want to take anything back, because like I said, I learned a lot of important soft skills from that as well. And man, I was alone in the big city, and that in itself is such a big learning experience, aside from the job, obviously. So yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I'm currently like working in London and I understand that like completely. It's having a job plus just the whole aspect of navigating living on your own and being away from family and being away from the city, I guess, that you were raised in. So what was like the motivation then to leave New York and come back to Mumbai?
Yeah, so I was in studying in Boston. So I left New York, went back to Boston. There was still COVID happening during that time, and I did a semester from home, and I did a work experience, another work experience from home. And during that time, honestly, I took all that time, and to be honest, the workload wasn't that much. So I took all that time, and all I did was think of Ride, which wasn't like gonna, which at that point was just an inception. It was just a thought. And I kept on kind of uh, visualizing it and thinking of ways to make it a reality. Even that point, I wasn't 100% sure I was going to do that, but it just consumed my mind. So it was just such a strong pull towards it that I was like, honestly, nothing else is making sense to me right now than doing this. And honestly, the whole work from home experience was a little bit challenging for me, because I was really demotivated at that time. So a lot of my friends were still in school, some of them were working, and everyone had like different jobs. So it wasn't like we could all kind of work together or study together. Like, that wasn't there. You can't just go to campus and sit in a circle and, work together. So it was really isolating for me, and I just wanted to be a part of a community, and like have that um feeling of home as well. So I just, yeah, that's why I came back. And also, Ride like did not leave my mind. Like, it was literally just constantly on my mind. So I just knew I had to do this.
And yeah, no, that sounds exciting. And in terms of when it was on your mind, like how long did it take you to go from ideation to actually implementing it?
So honestly, looking back at it, like, it it seems like, oh yeah, I just did that, it just happened. You sometimes forget how much work you actually put into it at that time. I don't know if that is the same case for you guys. Because when everything is going smoothly, you forget that there was a time when it was like literally everything was falling apart. But anyway, so initially, I thought about this during COVID, when the lockdown, when we were back here in Bombay, and I was kind of pitching it to my family. Like, I was like, and my dad's like, no, you need to like pitch it to me, like, like properly, like create a presentation. I want to know that you're serious about this. So yeah, I was very serious about it at that time. So I created a whole presentation to kind of pitch it to him and everything. And he was, I mean, he doesn't, he's not a person who's very much into the fitness space. So he was kind of grappling with the concept. He wasn't so sure. And then again, college started, so I went back to Boston. But this thought, like I said, never left my mind. So there, I actually was training in this studio called Bespoke because, like I said, the workload in my uni and my the second job that I did was really low. So I was like, I want to make the most of my time here. So I, anyways, had completed a certain number of indoor cycling classes, and they allowed me to enroll in their like teacher training course for in Bespoke Studios, Boston. So I did that, and I spoke to the founder of Bespoke and this other studio, Handlebar, which is also in Boston. And that started by a Northeastern alum. So she was like really like, just very motivating. And, we had like several conversations and stuff. And then I was like, sure. I was like, I was pretty sure at that point that I'm going to do this. So then I left my job early. I made up some excuse like, it's COVID and I need to spend time with my parents or something. And I just sent them an email. I was like, bye, my tickets are booked. I'm going to Bombay. Peace. Um, and then I left my job early. I came here and I saw places like that coming week. And the first place I saw was the place we have now. So I obviously had like this vision of the interiors I wanted. I found the right architect. Finding instructors, I would say, is the hardest part because there are no indoor cycling instructors in Bombay. So we had to get like fitness enthusiasts and people who have their background in health and fitness to kind of to join our team on good faith. Like this is the concept. I'm sure you might have heard of it, you might have not, but would you be down to like take joining us on this journey? Then like we had a very rigorous 4 month like crash course where we used to like practice every single day in my house, in my hall with the bikes and all set up for like 2 hours or so a day. We had a master instructor who's been doing this since 25 years, um, who's like a very strict teacher and everything. So it was it was fun also, like at that time. And then finding the bikes, we had to like run around like all over India to find these bikes. And finally, we had to go with these international brands of bikes and get it shipped, wait for it to get shipped, everything. So, I mean, it was a whole process of even doing up the interiors and then started the actual job of getting everyone to join us on that journey, making them believe in in this very fresh and new concept and kind of spreading the word about us. And honestly, most of the people who come to ride even today is through word of mouth. It's because, whoever walks in, we try to make them feel great about themselves, have an amazing workout. um and yeah, so it's there have been many ups and downs. There was the third wave of COVID that hit in the December. We started in October. There was a third wave in December, Jan, and all the studios had to be at 50% capacity, and a lot of people were scared. And that time, I would literally like be like, how are we going to get through this? So yeah, I mean, lots of ups and downs have happened, and I finally feel like, in a really good space right now. So yeah, it's been a heck of a journey.
So you, when you start a business, you've got multiple different roles, right? You've got marketing, you've got, of course, in your case, the fitness instructors, finance, etc. How many of these hats did you wear when you started the business?
Funny you ask, because I think I wore every hat. We had no employees. There was one full-time employee, that's me. Even today, a lot of this stuff is managed by me. And in fact, at that time, we just recently got a receptionist like 6 months ago. So for the first 8 or 9 months, I was the receptionist as well as the instructor, as well as I was handling the website and the phone and the WhatsApp and the phone calls, everything. And but at that time it was very important that I was doing it. Like I could not like let go of that responsibility to just anybody. you know um to me it was like very, very important that I do it, that I respond to all the WhatsApps and I pick up every phone call, and I'm there every day for every single class, whether it's like 7:30 a.m. or like 8 p.m. Yeah, I just wanted to be there for Ride like all the time. Like I had a genuine attachment towards it, and then someone kind of explained me that, like you need to delegate, like you're not like doing yourself justice or the business justice, like you need to create a good system that works with or without you. And yeah, finally, like I started letting go of all of my responsibilities, but which every entrepreneur should do, obviously. But I was wearing a lot of the hats, so that's why I've learned like a lot of skills through this whole process. In fact, I would say that going into Ride, like honestly, I just jumped into it. Like I wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna do a course in marketing, I'm gonna do a course in social media, and I'm gonna like learn how to do finances and create like pitch decks, or like do like profit and loss sheets and all of this. Like, yeah, I was an econ major, but this is more finance and like all of these things. And I just jumped into it, and I was like, whatever happens, I'm gonna learn along the way, you know. So yeah, sometimes it's important to just start, and just if you really want something, just start. Like you can't wait to be this perfect person, this, to begin something. I feel like people are like scared, they wanna um kind of learn everything before starting, but that, I mean, you can never know everything anyway. So yeah.
So now that you've, donned all these different hats over the course of Ride, what do you see as your role in the future of Ride? Like, which is the hat that you want to continue wearing, and which are the hats you want to delegate?
Yeah, so I definitely, the thing is, I can never I still go to the studio every day, even though we have like a receptionist, whether it's my class or another instructor's class. But obviously, if I'm unavailable at a specific timing, then I'm okay with just like letting the staff handle it and stuff. So I think the roles that I'm most attached to is obviously growing the business in terms of expanding into like more spaces, more studios, all of that. And I always want to be an indoor cycling instructor. And I'm actually doing my teacher training in other disciplines of fitness as well. But I've really grown to love connecting with people on that level. It's like it's a very, very joyful experience for me. So, and obviously, like giving that energy and receiving that energy is just magical. So that is one role that I'm also extremely attached to.
So you mentioned before that there's a long journey left for Ride, and even now your thought of like the future is to expand to different studios, I guess
Yeah.
across the city, across the country. So what are the different ways in which you're expanding your offering of Ride? Is it just going to be in terms of like different, like you also mentioned that you're doing different fitness qualifications. So is that also on the charts where Ride will provide services beyond indoor cycling, or is there or is right now the focus to expand to different cities and across India or even wider?
Yeah. So so yeah, nothing, nothing has been set like right now. Nothing is
Yeah.
like but we do want to expand to more spaces, definitely other cities in India. And also Ride already has other forms of fitness besides indoor cycling, like yoga, Pilates, boxing. But yeah, so definitely I personally am doing, learning about the other disciplines, getting my teacher training done. Um you know but but we have like a wonderful team of instructors that are already doing that. But definitely in the other, whenever we expand to like different spaces, we do want to give our members that like holistic, well-rounded studio that has something for everyone, or something for every need or purpose. So a lot of people that come to Ride who do indoor cycling also do Pilates, yoga, other things. So I've tried, because so yeah, so definitely a little bit of both. Definitely want to get into different forms of fitness for myself and for Ride, and also more cities, more studios, all of that. and yeah, also like expand in different ways, like even in the wellness space. We want to also kind of expand in that space as well when it comes to like meditation, breath work, healing, sound bath healings and stuff like that. So I mean, ride is again like the main the main thing about ride is our ethos, right? That will always stay the same. That is our core value, and everything else is growing from that.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to see how like you're connecting everything back to like the core part being wellness. And yeah, I
Yeah.
want to know like what are your thoughts in terms of mental health and fitness? A lot of times like fitness is not, or like physical exercise is not only about maintaining a certain figure or losing a certain amount of weight, but a lot of it is also connected to like your mental space. So even if you could share like your journey, if there was any impact, that noticeable impact on your mental health with the benefit of like fitness.
Yeah. So so I've seen like both sides of the coin where, I was in Boston, I was feeling very isolated and like I had genuinely had seasonal depression at one point. And I used to go to like fitness studios almost every single day. I used to like never spend on going out or like going clubbing or anything. And I would always be like, I don't care. I'm spending all my money on indoor cycling studios and Barry's and all of these other fitness studios, because that's like, I love that. Like that energy was just like just magical to me. So that is like, one good thing about fitness, and how that supports mental health, because obviously you feel like is when you do a group fitness workout with good energy, good instructors, a very like good ambiance, you feel happy, right? It releases serotonin, dopamine. It makes you feel like you're a part of a community. It's very good to balance your hormones in the long run as well, especially for women with PCOS, PCOD. It really helps to balance your hormones and kind of stabilize your mood in that way. But then there's also another side where it can be detrimental to your mental health if you approach fitness in a way that is like, if your reasons behind doing it aren't good. So if you're doing it purely for like aesthetic reasons, you're also going to put that additional pressure on yourself. A lot of people are addicted to looking at their Apple Watch, making sure they're closing their rings, and I always see that. And yeah, it can be a good thing if that works for you, and you can detach yourself from that a little bit, then that's great. But people are like people who are attached to that and kind of obsessed with it, and are putting a lot of pressure on themselves and their body to reach a certain goal, to see results. They've given themselves a specific timeline or things like that I feel like can get a little bit detrimental to your health, just because you're not kind of because I feel like you lose that mind to body connection. You're not listening to what your body is saying. You're listening to what a watch is saying or what the number on. So all our bikes, we remove the monitors because we don't want you to see how many calories you're burning or what your RPM is. Okay, like listen to your body. If that day you feel like push yourself beyond your limit. But if not, you want to take it easy, that's okay. Because we have people who come every single day, and every single day, their average calories burnt are different, and that's fine. you know so it's all about that. And when you stop listening to your body, and your body is really stressed out, you're going to produce like cortisol and like all of these other leptin and all of these other hormones that are just gonna kind of put your body in this fight or flight mode. And then your results are going to be even more delayed, and that can have a lot of long term repercussions as well on your body. So that is why it is very important for us to kind of have that mind soul connection with your body and your fitness journey. It's not all about being it's not all about hitting a certain goal or a certain number or anything. So yeah, there are two sides to it, right? Like fitness, if it's done in a good holistic wellness way. Like it can be so good for your mental health. It's very, very crucial for your mental well-being, to move and enjoy movement. But if it's done in a very extreme and unhealthy way, then yeah, it can also kind of cause unnecessary stress. I feel like a lot of studios, are making that shift slowly. But a lot of people and a lot of spaces, I feel like, even especially in India, maybe it's just not a lot of people have experienced it, but I feel like I've experienced this to an extent where I feel like a lot of fitness coaches, and a lot of nutritionists don't focus on that soul and mind to body connection. They're more about the numbers, and they're more about fast results. So that's where I feel like that change needs to happen, you know.
No, I totally get it. I've been a victim of this like numbers obsessed fitness path, right? Like I had a bit of a fitness journey, and during that time I was so like obsessed with numbers. I would constantly see every day, would try to beat my like how much I'm running, and then every day track my weight and stuff like that. And yeah, what you said about it, now you don't feel the same level of effort the same every day. So like you should allow yourself to relax on certain days and push harder on certain days. And I think yeah, that's a change that's needed. But in your experience, so you've already mentioned one way that you do that at Trata, which is you've removed the monitors from the cycles. So, what are the other ways in which, for example, whether it's with boxing, yoga, etc., are there other ways that are trying to change the way people think about fitness altogether?
Yeah, so like I said in the very beginning, these are core values, the ethos, and this is how we lead every day with this mindset. So, whether it be, a lot of people come to the studio and they're like, no, Sanjana, tell me, like, how much weight will I lose in 1 month? Okay, like, what will be my, and I'm like, I don't want to, let's not discuss this. Just enjoy your workout and let whatever happens, happen. So just enjoy, be consistent, focus on eating foods that nourish your body and, whole foods, and just enjoy the journey, and the results will come, you know and that's what we're all about. So if you see, like, if Anuj, you've come to ride, like we blast music, we have a lot of fun, we play with lights, and we just, as instructors, we're just there, we're giggling, we're cracking jokes, we're making you move and groove to the beat of the music. And everyone's just having fun, everyone's just enjoying. It's like, honestly, like, to me, it's like having a party. So I always I always like to ride before going out on the weekends, because that's like, literally, I call it my pre-game ride, because that pumps me up, that gets my energy going, that gets my blood flowing, and I'm just like feeling so like euphoric after. So that's just how all of our workouts are designed. So even box sculpt, it's just a high energy, happy, good vibes, like, workout. That's why we have community workouts. We want you to feel like, you're connecting with other people, and we're all working out together, and everyone's having a good time, and nothing serious. You can say whatever you want during class, you can laugh, you can dance, you can sing along to the music. So it's like you have a complete, like, freedom to just be yourself, to be open, and yeah, and enjoy the ride. So that's kind of the main focus, I would say.
Okay, and now for like the future of ride, do you see that as something that's going to be led by you, or do you want ride to be its entirely own thing?
So to be honest, I want Right to be its entirely own thing. I think it's a phenomenon, and I think it's a brand of it on its own, of itself. And obviously, I'm like deeply connected to Right, like, personally, and I always wanna be an instructor. Sorry, my dog is here. I always want to be like a fitness coach, and I want to be a part of Ride in every way possible. But in general, ride is a brand of its own. So, it's not about me. It's everyone's ride,
Can you show
Everyone's.
us your dog? Show us the dog. Show us. We've had dogs on the podcast before.
Bella, she's gonna start
Bella
barking.
has the honor of being the second ever dog on ride.
Yes. So I mean, you said that the important thing is to enjoy the journey and the results will come. And that can be very well translated to like business overall as well. Like any company that you start, it's about like enjoying the journey and results will come. So one of the challenges we have is called Two Lies and One Truth. It is to understand your journey with Ride. And whether it's a challenge or your biggest achievements, the idea is that you give us three statements from which one explains the actual big moment at Ride, and the other two are false statements. And then Anuj and I will guess which is the correct one.
Okay, so one truth and two lies.
Two lies. Yeah.
I fractured my elbow because I hit a dumbbell while instructing a class. Ride was featured on Vogue magazine. And the third one is we have an all boys class every Thursday at 8 p.m. Boys
I
only.
feel like I very, very clearly know the answer to this.
Yeah, because
So
this
Janvi,
kind of
you
knows
answer.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so Janvi, you answer first.
Yeah, I was gonna take advantage of just going along with what you were gonna say, but okay, so it's a fracture, right, as mentioned on Vogue, and then you have a boys only class.
Very good list, by the way, Sanjana. Very tough for Janvi.
Yeah. um I'm gonna go with right as mentioned on Vogue. I don't think you have a boys only class. Yeah, so I would go for the second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How did you know I haven't injured my elbow? I haven't fractured my elbow. Because I was actually really close to fracture my elbow, like while instructing a class. Like, because I was like doing like an elbow pop, and I like hit the, I was like with the instructor
Oh
at the
God.
podium. So I almost hit the wall. And I was like being really overly enthusiastic, and I was like elbow pop. And I was gonna actually
Oh,
like break my I thought I fractured my elbow, but I didn't luckily. So yeah.
I thought that that would have been a very obvious one for Anuj to guess.
But we should
That's
have a
true.
boys only class because school boys ride.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let's go to our next game. This is called red flags. So we're going to give you three hypothetical situations. Each situation is composed of two things that are going great and one red flag. All, of course, adapted for ride. You have to then pick which of these three situations you would rather be in. So situation one is ride's classes are running full. There is demand to expand to another studio, but all your current cycles break down suddenly. Situation two is ride has 5 different fitness types. You have some of the prime trainers working with you. However, someone breaks their ankle during the class. And situation three is ride has raised funding. You're expanding to a new city, but another cycling studio goes viral with popularity.
So
Okay.
I would definitely not pick the last one. And the second one is someone twists their ankle or something during class.
Breaks
But
their
then
ankle during class.
it breaks their ankle during class. But is that their fault? That's their fault that like they must have done a move incorrectly or not followed the
Yeah,
instruction.
it's not because the cycle broke through or something. It
Yeah.
is a user fault, yes.
Yeah. So I mean that's very upsetting, but I feel like, we can work overtime with the physician, and us personally as well, giving them a lot of personal attention, and and how to recover from that injury. um and we do our best to avoid all injuries. Like indoor cycling is a very is a is a kind of form of workout that a lot of athletes use after they've been injured, because it's very easy on your joints, it's very good for recovery. So it's very rare that someone feels any major pain or discomfort after class. And especially like an injury happening through a indoor cycling class at ride is highly unlikely, or any other class for that matter, because also the instructors give a lot of personal attention to everyone. We always encourage everyone to take a break when they feel like it, if it's getting too much, to take the resistance down or decrease their speed. So I mean, if they did get injured because they probably already had some, maybe they had a previous injury and that's kind of acting up again or whatever, we would definitely help them get connected to the right physician, which we have a large database of physicians in this area, and also like help them recover at right, you know, through easing back into exercise, and maybe starting with just yoga and mobility work first. So I think, yeah, definitely the second one, just because the first and the third one also are like very scary scenarios, and I don't want to think about that right now. So yeah, the second one I feel like it's something that we can work with. Okay, we can get through it, we can get past it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I think, yeah, I get what you mean. And I guess, yeah, all the cycles breaking down suddenly, that's like a yeah, a big red flag.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So then let's go on to our final section. I think this one you'll enjoy the most.
Yes, so the final section is the rapid fire. So self-explanatory. I'll ask you questions and you need to give rapid answers. So the first one is, did you ever question whether ride was worth it?
Yeah, of course.
Your proudest moment with ride so far?
There has been a proud moment with Right so far lately, which Anush knows about, but I'm not allowed to disclose at the moment.
Fair enough. The suspense. What was your biggest sacrifice for making ride possible?
So I was an econ major, but also I wanted to do either something in finance or something in relation with my family business, but in the US. Because I have a green card, and I always thought that I would be like staying back there and like, living there, working there, everything. So I think that was, and I was really enjoying my time in Boston and New York, and really starting to feel like, I could do this and live alone, and have a life here, and but I feel like I kind of had to give that up if I wanted to do right. um so yeah, I think that was the only
Your favorite aspect of ride?
the community, the people, I mean, the right tribe, that's what makes it also. Yeah.
Fair enough. What was the one time you felt like you let ride down?
I mean, there have been a lot of times, because obviously I'm not a perfect person. Like I said, I kind of figured it out along the way. I think I always feel guilty when I go for like trips, which I do like 1 or 2 long trips. I have to go to the US pretty often. Uh, or if I go for a trip, for like 1 week or 2 weeks or something, I always, towards the end, I'm always like, I just want to go back to ride. So
Fair enough. Best business idea you will never use?
I don't want to say this because I might actually do this in the future. Uh, But if anyone wants to do this and partner with me, let me know. So I thought of doing something like Rent the Runway, but for like Indian clothing and jewelry. So like
Oh,
jewelry clothing rental, for you, all of us have this struggle where we go for weddings and stuff. We're buying like clothes that are like worth a lot. We wear them once, we take a bunch of photos. All our friends and family saw us in that, and we're like, shit, we can never wear that again, you know?
Literally smells. We were on the tube, and I was like, you know what? This needs to be done in like India with like lehengas and stuff like that because it's just
Yeah.
so irritating.
If anyone watching
Yeah.
finance this idea, do contact me.
But yeah, apparently I think there already is one or two though.
There is, but they don't have like designers. So I've already
Yeah.
done my research on this. Um, who wants to rent something from H&M and wear it once and send it back?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Which hobby of yours did your work in?
I used to play the guitar and I used to sing, a lot. I was a music minor in college, and before that, I was trained in Hindustani vocals. And yeah, I feel like I don't get so much time to kind of practice playing the guitar and singing and all of those things. Um, Kill is a strong word. It's just that I don't have as much time to do it, but it'll always be my passion and my hobby. So it's about me making time for it. So,
Okay. Books or podcasts?
podcasts,
iPad or notebook?
iPad. I don't use
Okay.
either, to be honest.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm a morning person for sure. I get really tired post 11 p.m. Like can't do anything, just need to sleep. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite social media platform?
Instagram for sure.
Okay, so that concludes the rapid fire segment and bringing us to the end of our conversation. But before we end, we have a segment where we ask our guest to ask the next guest a question. So first we'll ask you the question our previous guest asked, and then we'll ask you to ask the next guest. So your question is,
because this is a subject which I find very relevant and very important to talk about, is what do you think about the ongoing protests? Sorry, man, it's a journalistic one, okay? It's going to be a bit, so I can't help myself. But what do you think about the ongoing protests by our wrestlers at Jantar Mantar?
Yeah, I was very upset when I heard about the allegations towards Mr. Singh, who's a very powerful man um, in you know, and he's also a part of the Indian. He's also connected to the Indian government, which is why he's getting off so easy, and why the process has been delayed for so long, which is really sad to hear, because this has been happening since um, the beginning of time in India, where powerful men just get their way, and everyone else has to keep quiet, uh, or not, uh, or no matter how much they do to get justice, it never quite goes their way. So it took a long time for for them to even get to the point of filing an FIR, and now that it's the whole they've not been releasing the information on the investigation that was done. So it's really sad, and I feel it's really sad that there is even a need for everyone, for even the farmers joined the protest, and still they're not being heard. So it's very sad that it even has to get to this place, and they're still not being heard. So I really hope that this systematic oppression of women like stops. And I really appreciate everyone who came together for this protest, and but I feel like that definitely needs to be um, a change in the Indian government, um, and every small step counts and every person counts. And so yeah, I mean, there's a long way to go, but the change is coming slowly, for sure. But it's very upsetting to hear about this matter. So yeah. because of
Yeah,
my
100%.
So we're finally at the end of our conversation. Thank you so much, Sanjana, for joining us. It was
Thank
an absolute pleasure having you on board.
Yes, thank you so much.
for inviting me to do this.